Hello everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. Let's quickly revise whatever we have completed so far in our framework. So let's start with the step 1. So we have started creating Selenium PyTest page object model hybrid framework. First, we understood the application. So first step is we have to understand the application and selection of test cases. If you remember, in the first session, we have selected the test cases which we want to automate. After understanding the application and selection of test cases, we have created a new project. We have created a new project and installed all the required plugins for in our packages. For example, we have installed Selenium libraries, PyTest, PyTest HTML for report generation, PyTest Exist to run parallel test cases, OpenPyXL for Excel support, Allure PyTest to generate Allure test reports. So we have installed all the plugins in our project. Then in step 3 we have created folder structure for our page object base pages, test cases, reports, test data, screenshots, logs, utility file, etc. So we have created the folder structure of our project, which includes all the different type of folders as per the different functions and different utility file, etc. So this was our folder structure of our NOP Commerce automation project. After that, we have created the first base page and first test for our admin login page. So for demo.nopcommerce.com, we have created the first base page, which contains all the page related actions and locators. Then we have created admin login page object, and by using that page object, we have created the test case as well. We have also written the test cases for valid login, invalid login, title verification of. Then in the next step, we have also added the mechanism to capture screenshot on failure of the test cases. So whenever the test case gets failed, it automatically saves the screenshot of that specific screen. Then we have also seen how to read common values from .ini file. We have created config.ini file as well in configuration folder. To read the common data, we have used config.ini file. And then also we have seen how to add logs in our project. We have created custom logger.py file under utilities package. And we have also seen how to add logs in our project. Then we have also seen how to run tests on specific browsers. That also we have already seen. And then we have also seen running parallel test using PyTest Exist plugin. So it automatically speeds up the execution of test suite. We can run parallelly multiple test cases. This already we have covered in our previous sessions. After that, we have also seen how to generate HTML reports using PyTest HTML plugin. So we have also seen how to generate HTML reports. And in our previous session, the last session which we had, in which we have seen data-driven test cases. We have seen how we can perform data-driven test using OpenPyXL. And in today's session, we will continue. So most of the work which framework requires, which is needed for initial couple of test cases, that we have already covered, that we have already created in our framework structure. So now we don't have to do all this stuff again and again. So once we create the structure of our framework, now the next step is addition of new test cases. Now, so whenever you work in any real-time project or in any organization, in real-time project, we will get the test cases to automate. Now, for those test cases, there could be two possibilities. Framework might be already built, and then we have to just add the new test cases. In that situation, we have to first understand that framework. So we have to first understand the framework structure which is already created. There could be a documentation available for that framework. We have to understand the folder structure, utility files, any reusable code present in that framework or not. So all these things we have to first understand. After that, we can add the new test cases in the existing framework. And before starting the automating that script for the new test cases, always remember to understand end-to-end flow of that specific test case along with the business logic. So for example, whatever elements which needs to be interacted for that test case, whatever base pages we will need to make that test case, or any existing pages which are available that we can reuse for our test cases. So all these things we have to understand by understanding the framework first. So now we will see in our current application, we are going to add one new more test case, that is addition of new customer in our NOP Commerce application. So if you remember, so far we have automated login feature with these two test cases. We have also seen data driven testing. Today we will focus on customers module, and in the customers module how to add new customer by using automation script. So we will focus on add new customer test case. So we are going to see add new customer test case in our application. So first I will just take you through the manual flow of that add new customer. So let's check out. This is our admin-demo.nopcommerce.com login portal. So once you log in with the admin credential, so this is the login portal. So once you log in this portal, after login, we can see multiple options present in our left side. We have to understand the customers module. So if you go to customers module, it has some options here. If you see inside the customers module, we have to click on customers. So after clicking on customers, if you see, we can see one add new button. This is for adding new customer. So you have to click on this add new button. It will open the customer detail page. So here we can enter all the details which we are going to give for new customer. For example, we have to put email, password, first name, last name, gender, date of birth, company name. We have to check whether we have to tax exempt is available or not. Newsletter selection. So this is basically a drop down. If you see, this is a drop down. But we have already seen that sometimes drop down will not have some select tag. So this looks like a drop down, but actually it is not a drop down. So if you inspect it, we will not see any select tag for this newsletter. Similarly, we have to put customer roles, manager of vendor, and adding some comment, and then we have to click on this save button. So as soon as you click on this save, the new user will get created. So this is the test case which we are focusing today. So in this test case, what are the different things we have to automate? So first we have to create the page object of this add customer page. So first we will have to create add customer base page. That base page will contain all the locators which we are going to interact and all the methods which we will be using. For example, locators will contain this email input field, password input field, first name input field, and so on. Along with that, we have to create methods in our page object. For example, enter email, enter password, enter first name, enter last name. So all these methods will be present in that base page. But before that, we have to also select customers. After selecting customers, we have to select customer sub option. Then we have to create on that add new. If you see in customers, we have to select add new customer, and then we will land on this page. And here we have to first put some email ID. Now, for providing email ID, so whenever we are creating the new user, that email ID needs to be different every time. So if you run the same test script again and again, we should not give the same email ID, right? If we are going to give the same email ID, it will throw the error because two users cannot have the same email ID. So we will add some mechanism or some function to create random email ID as well, that we will see in coming time. So that we will show in while writing the test case. So we have to provide some random email every time. So every time the script gets executed, it will create a new email ID. Remaining field we can give, for example, password, first name, last name can be same. So first name, last name, these fields we can easily give just like any other input fields. So we have to locate the password, then we have to provide the password. Then you have to provide the first name, last name, here gender, male and female. So these are basically radio buttons. So you have to select any one of them. Then we have to select the date of birth. If you see this date of birth, there is a date picker available as well, but we can directly send as well. So instead of using date picker, always remember, always follow the simple approach while automating your test cases. So if it is not compulsory here, I can simply pass date of birth like this. So we can, if we are able to pass the date of birth directly, then we don't have to automate the date picker, right? So it will make the code a bit complex. So instead of that, let's pass the date of birth directly in our test case, because that is accepting this time. Then we have to pass the company name. Then we have to check this checkbox. So I will just check this checkbox. We have to select one option from this newsletter. After selecting this option, we have to provide the customer role. By default, if you see, if you don't provide any customer role, it will be considered as registered. So registered is already selected. So here we can also give some of the other value as well. For example, if I want to provide administrator along with the registered, I can provide administrator role as well. And then we have to select manager of vendor. This is again a drop down. We have to select one option from this, and then we can pass admin comment. Any test comment we can pass, and after passing the test comment, we have to click on save button. Then it will create the new user. It will create a new user. Here one thing we have to understand is customer roles. If you see, if you are providing the customer role as registered, and along with that if I provide the customer role as guest as well, it will not be accepted, because either the new user can be a registered or it can be a guest user. It cannot be both. So if I show you, let's say while executing the test case, I will show you. So if you are entering the registered as well as guest, it will not accept the value because it can be either registered or guest. That's why what we will do. So let me just quickly show you. For example, let's say I'm just putting some random email ID. Let's put some random password, random first name, random last name, company name, newsletter. I'm just selecting one value. I'm selecting one value for manager of vendor, and I'm passing the comment as well. Here if you see, I have selected registered as well as guest, but when I try to save it, it will show that customer cannot be in both guest and registered customer roles. That's why we have to understand, if you are going to provide the registered as a value, then first we have to, for example, if you want to provide the guest as value, then we have to first remove this register, or we can simply select that registered one more time. If you select it one more time, it will basically remove that value, and then again you can select guest value. So this is the thing which we have to handle during customer role selection. So now let's start with our test case. So now what we will do is, I will just go to PyCharm. So what is the first step? First step is we have to create the base page. So I will just create a new Python file, new base page for add new customer. So I'm just creating a new base page, add customer page. So we have created add customer page. So this is the file which we have created, that is add customer page. This is the base page. Now in this base page, we are going to add all the locators which we are going to interact along with all the methods. Now for the time constraint, so if I am going to, so first we have to locate all the elements. That will take lots of time, guys. So I have already written those in another file. I will just copy and paste it here, because if I going to write all the elements and all the methods, it will take lots of time. So that's why I'm skipping that part. I will just add that specific code here, and I will explain all the code which I have written. So this is the base page which we have created. So we have first created add customer page, that is the base page. We have created one class. It is similar to the base page which we have created earlier. If you remember, we have created login admin page. Similarly, we have to create add customer page this time. In this page, we have created one class, that is add customer page. And in this class, now we have to locate all the elements which we are going to interact. Now, these are all locators from add customer page. Now, if you see, the flow will start from login. So once you log in as admin, first step is we have to click on these customers. So we have to locate this customers locator, and then we have to click on this customer sub option as well. So both the things I have already located here. If you see, naming convention should be easily understood. For example, this is XPath which I have used for that customers option, and this is the XPath I have used for customers menu sub option, and this is the XPath for that. I have used relative XPath along with the contains method for text that contains the customers. So inside the anchor tag, if you see, this is basically a locator for that customers option, and this is the locator for that sub option of customers menu. So it will locate these customers as well as customers sub option. So after writing those locators, we have to also add locator for other element. For example, inside this customers sub menu option, we have to click on this add new button. Now this is the locator for add new button. If you see, link underscore add new, and this is XPath. So we have to write in such a way that just by reading this, you will understand what locator and what type of locator we are using. So this is basically add new, and this is a XPath. So this is the XPath for that add new button. And after add new button, again I have written locators for email field. So this is, we are on add customer page. So email field, it is a text input field. Password field, again text input field. First name is also input field. Last name is also input field. So if you are simply inspecting it, we can locate all the elements. We have already seen how to locate the elements. And this is the XPath. So for those IDs were available. So I have just used IDs as well. So text email ID, text underscore password underscore ID. So if I show you, for example, I will just show you the one email field. So if you see, inspecting the email, that input field is having some ID available. If you see, ID equals to email. Similarly, for password field also, there is some ID available. ID equals to password. So we can use ID or XPath or any locator we can use. So that's why I have used locator for password field, first name field, last name field, and then we have radio buttons as well. So if you see, this is the radio button for male, and this is the radio button for female. So I will just inspect it. So this is radio button for female or male. So I have written the locator for, again I have used IDs only. So this is for male and this is for female, and these are the value for those ID. So this is the locator and this is the value of that locator. So ID is gender underscore male. So if you see here, gender underscore male. So this is the ID. This is the value of that ID attribute. That's why I have written the locator like this. RDO means radio underscore gender underscore male underscore ID. Type of locator which we are using is ID. And this is for radio button. So this is for male, this is for female. Also after that, date of birth. Again for date of birth, I have used ID. For company name, I have used ID. If you see, date of birth, I have used ID. Company name also, ID attribute is available. This is again checkbox. If you inspect the checkbox, for this checkbox also, ID is available. So wherever ID is available, I have used those ID. So our main goal is identifying the element. So sometimes if ID is not present, we can write the XPath or any other way. Now coming to the newsletter. Now we have reached up to here. So this is the locator by using ID for checkbox. Now for newsletter option. So for example, here I have to, whenever writing the test case, I have to first click on this newsletter field. And for this newsletter field, if I try to inspect it, you see there is no select tag present here. It is present, but it is inside this, right? So ideally, we cannot use select drop down option. So if you highlight this field, it is starting with div tag. And if I want to click on this, I have to first identify this element. So I have used role equals to list box. So I'm just using Control F, div tag @role equals to list box. So when I am using that value of that XPath, it is highlighting two elements. If you see, it is highlighting this newsletter as well as customer roles. It is identifying two elements by using same XPath. So there can be a situation where the same XPath is giving you more than one locators or more than one elements on the web page. So that's why we have to use some technique here. So for example, we have already seen if there is the XPath which results into multiple elements, then we can store those elements in one list. So this will giving two elements. So we can store this by using driver.find elements, which will store all the two elements in that specific list item, and from that list we can choose. So for example, I will just show you. So this XPath is giving me two options, two elements. First one is for newsletter and next one is for customer role. So I will store that in one list variable, and when I need that, I will just use first element from that list. So first element will be for newsletter field and second XPath will be for second element will be for customer roles field. That I will show you in some time. So just understand here, since there are multiple two elements are pointing to same XPath, we have to first use driver.find elements and store all the two elements in one list. And from that list, if you take the first option, that is newsletter, and second web element will be customer roles drop down, right? So this will highlight the second one and this is the first one. So that's why I have used list XPath. So this variable I'm just putting it here, and in next step I will show you how I have used that in the list, and from the list how I am fetching that specific for newsletter and another value for second value for customer roles. After that we also have guest, right? Customer roles. So for example, I have also written for customer roles as well. So if you see, customer roles has 5 values. So I have identified, again here we cannot use the select class approach. So if you highlight it, first we have to click on this, and depending on the value which is being passed from the test case, we have to select some value here. So if my role is administrator from the test case, then I have to select the administrators. If my test case is passing forum moderator, then I have to select the forum moderators, depending on that. So again, I have identified all these 5 values and I have stored those in these locators by using XPath. So I have used link which contains text as administrator, but this will appear only after clicking on that drop down. Correct. So first we have to identify and click on that, and then we can use any of the 5 XPath present here. And similarly, after that, manager of vendor. Now if you highlight this one, this is a drop down. If you see, when I am highlighting this manager of vendor, it is directly giving the select tag. So we can use the select class approach here. We can use this select class approach. This is the drop down values. We can select by visible text as well. Then we have this admin content. We will keep the active checked as well. We will not change anything here. We will pass some content here, and we will click on the save button. So these are the locators for these various things. For example, save button, add comment input field, drop down for that manager vendor ID. So these are all values and locators for all the elements which we have to use. After that, in this customer page, so this is our locators. Now we have already located the elements. After locating the elements, now we have to perform some actions as well. So what are the different actions? So first step is we have to already create one constructor here. So we have created one constructor in which we are passing the driver instance. In this we are passing the driver instance. So whenever the object of this page is created, it will initialize the driver, and we are assigning this driver to this self.driver. And by using this self.driver, we can access. So by using this self.driver, we can access all these locators in our methods which we are going to create. Now, for creating the method, so what are the actions we will do? We have to click on this email and proceed with entering the email ID. We have to put, so first method will be entering the email, enter password, enter first name, enter last name, select gender, enter date of birth, enter company name. After that, we have to check this tax exempt checkbox, select newsletter, select customer roles, select manager of vendor, and then pass or enter admin comment and then click on save. So all these actions, we have to convert those actions into methods in our page object class. So if you see, first step is clicking on customers. So I have created one method in which I am just going to click on the customers. So after login, so up to login, we already have login base page. Now login base page is containing all the methods which require still login process. We can reuse those login admin page as well for login thing. After successful login, we have to click on customers. So we have already seen after successful login, we have to click on customers options. So after successful login, you have to click on this customers menu. So if you see, we have to click on this customers menu first, and then we have to click on these customers, and then we have to click on add new button. So I will just create 3 methods. First one is clicking customers option. In this I will just find by using self.driver find element by XPath self dot, this is the locator link customers menu XPath. So this is locator which we have defined here, that will locate this specific web element, that is the customers option, from left panel, and then it will click on that. Similarly, after that method, we have created another method that will click on customers menu sub option. Here we are again using this second one locator. So it will locate this element, that is the second option, second customer sub option, and it will click on it. So it will click on that customer from menu options. And always remember, while creating the methods, always create or always name those methods in such a way that we should be able to understand just looking at that specific name of that method. It is easily understood that by using this method, we are clicking on customers. By using this method, we are clicking on customers from menu option. Then after clicking that, we are again clicking on add new button. That will click on that add new button. So it will click on that add new button. It will locate that element. It will click on that add new button. Now after clicking that add new button, we will reach here. This is not a test case, guys. This is just a base page. And by creating the object of this base page, we are going to use that object of this base page in our test case, and we are going to call all these methods step by step. I am just explaining the base page first. So after that, we have reached on the this page. So on this page, we have to select this email field and enter email ID. So for that, again I have written one enter email method which will take email ID from our test case. So from test case, we will pass this email as a parameter. Then this email ID which will be passed from the test case, we will use that as input or parameter in our this action. So it will pass that email ID in our input field. Similarly, I will just put password as well. So we are accepting the password from test case. That will put that password in our password field. Then we are for first name and last name also. We are going to take the input as a parameter from test case. That will pass it into this method, and this method will pass that value into input field for first name as well as last name. After that, we have to select the gender. So after that, we have to select the gender. So here we have to select the gender, male and female. So again, I have created one method here. We are going to take the gender value from test case. So if the gender value equals to male, then we are going to locate that male radio button and we are going to click on that. Else if gender value is passed as female from the test case, then we are going to locate radio button for that female ID, and it will be clicking on that button. And also, in case there is some incorrect value which is passed, we will enter into else block. So by default, if it is not male or it is not female, then by default we will select some default value, that is female ID again. So if someone puts incorrect value in our test case, it will select, by default it will select the female radio button. That is for selecting the gender. Next, for entering the date of birth. So we are going to enter the date of birth again. We are directly pass the values here from the test case. Again, it will accept date of birth from test case as a parameter, and that value will be passed to that input field. Similarly, for company name as well, for selecting the tax exempt as well, we are just checking that checkbox, clicking on that checkbox. Then also, now next one is very important, that is selecting the newsletter. If you remember, I have already informed you that while locating that element, there were two elements. So if you see this locator, that is this locator was giving two values. First value was for newsletter, second value for customer role. So now we are going to select the newsletter. Newsletter value will be passed from test case, and for clicking on that newsletter, as I have already explained, we are going to store first in elements. Elements will contain, this is basically a list variable. Elements is containing two web elements, because that XPath was giving two web element. First one was for this newsletter field. First value was for newsletter field, and second value was for customer role field. So if I want to click on the newsletter, so let's say if I want to click on this newsletter, I have to use the first element from that element list. So here what I am doing is I am creating another web element newsletter field, and in which I am storing the first element. Index always starts from 0. Index starts from 0. That's why I am using the first element, that is the 0th index element, as a newsletter field. So if I want to click on that newsletter field, I am just simply clicking on it. So I will just click on that newsletter field. Then I will check what is the value passed from the test case. If value is your store name, then I am going to, in this newsletter, if value is your store name, then I am going to click on this. If the value is test store 2, I am just going to click on this. So that thing is handled here. if the value equals to test store 2, then I am going to select that test store 2. So this is the locator for second one, that is test store 2. Else by default it will select your store name. If both the values fail, then by default it will select your store name, that is the first value. So this method will take care of selecting the newsletter. After this, we are selecting the customer role. So after this, we have created another method for selecting the customer role. Now in this, I have already said key. We have already seen. First thing is we have to select or we have to click on the customer roles. We have to select or we have to click on the customer role first. So for that again, we have created elements, which is a list. It contains two web elements. First web element is for newsletter. Second web element is for customer role. So I am just extracting the second element here and storing it in customer role underscore field, and we are clicking on this field. So whenever this method is called, it will click on that customer role, and then we are checking what is the role which we need to select. If from the test case role is passed as a guest value is passed, then I have already explained you. If it is guest, then what we will do? We have to remove this registered. So how we will remove it is, we will click on this drop down. So if you see, we will click on this drop down. We have to select guest, right? But we cannot directly select the guest. We have to first remove this registered value. So I will just click on this. If you see the step here, if role equals to guests, then what I will do is, I will just remove this commented part first. If role equals to guests, then what I will do is, I will again click on this drop down. I will again click on this drop down and I will select that specific customer role field. For example, what I will do, if the guest value is passed, then what I will do is, I have to again click on this and then I have to select this registered one. So what it will do is, it will remove the registered value, and then I'm again going to click on this and I'm just going to select the guest. So that flow we have automated here. If you see, if the role value equal to guests, if role equals to guest, I'm just simply going to select on this input field first, and I'm just going to select on the registered XPath. So this is the XPath for that registered value. I'm just going to click on that registered. So it will remove that registered value from that input field. And then I will again click on that drop down one more time. And this time I will click the guest value. That is the thing which we have handling here. Again understand, if registered is already selected, if registered value is already selected here, then we cannot provide directly the guest value, because user can be either registered or guest. It cannot accept both the values. So for that, for other one, it is fine. For administrator, if I put this is fine. For forum moderator, it is fine. For vendors also, it is fine. But only in case of guest. If registered is already there, and if you put guest as well, it will not accept, because user can either be registered or it can be a guest. So if we have to give the guest as a value for that specific role, we have to first remove this registered one. So for that, what we are doing is, we are just selecting this one and we are again reselecting registered, so it will be removed, and then we are clicking again and we are selecting the guest again. So that is the step which we are doing here. So these are the steps which we are doing here in our condition when role equals to guest. For other one, it is totally fine. If role equals to administrator, from the test case, if you want, or we want to assign the role as administrator, then in that situation, we can directly select it. After clicking it, we are directly selecting that. If role is forum moderator, then also after clicking, we are directly selecting that value. And in case of registered, now again, in case of registered, we don't have to do anything, because if you see, by default when the page loads, register value is already selected. In our application, by default it is giving the registered value. So there is no meaning of giving registered again, right? So we are not doing anything in that case, and we are just using pass. If vendors is there, we are selecting the vendors. And by default, if anything is not working or anything is failing for these conditions, we have to provide one default condition for else block. By default, it will select administrator. By default, it will select the administrator role. So this is the handling which we have done for our selection of role. So after selecting the role, we have to select one drop down value for vendor of manager, manager of vendor value. So again, next method is for selecting manager of vendor. So we are simply using the select class approach here. We are going to pass the value from test case. We have created the drop down object of select class. We are identifying that specific list, drop down list, by using this ID of that drop down. These things we have already covered in our basic Selenium and Python session, guys. I am just using it here. And using this drop down object, select by visible text method, whatever value we are providing, it will select that value. For example, if I provide not a vendor value from test case, it will select not a vendor. If I provide vendor one value from the test case, it will select the vendor one. And the last step is entering admin comments. It will accept the admin comment from test case, and then it will pass that value to that specific input field. And after that, clicking on save button. After that, it will click on save button. So these are basically actions which we need in our page object class. This is the add customers page object class. This is the base page which we have created, which contains all the locator. This is the class name add customer page, all the locators which we are going to interact, and then we have created one constructor, and then by using self.driver and using different methods, for example click customer, all the methods which we need we have created in the base page. Now the next step is we have created the base page with base methods. Now we are going to create the actual test case. Now we are going to create the actual test case. So we have created the base page, that is add customer page. Now we are going to write actual test case. Test case we have to write in test cases folder. If you see in this test cases folder, I am going to create a new file. Let's say new file. We have to create a new Python file. Let's create new Python file and let's name it as test add new user. So this is our actual test case. Now we are going to write the actual test cases in it. So how to write? I have already written it. I am just copying it, because if I write everything right now, it will take lots of time, guys. So I am just pasting it here, and I am just going to explain the test case. So in this test case, we are going to use the object of our base page. So first, we have to create one class. So I have created the class here. If you see, class test underscore 03 add new customer. This is the class name for our test case. In this, similar to previous test case which we have created, we have admin page URL, we have username. If you see our previous cases, for example, test admin login test case, in this also we have used the same thing. If you see, this is our reusable code, admin page URL, because we have to log in first, right? So for that we need admin page URL, which we are reading from config page file. Username, password of that admin page portal login, then logger class object which we have created. This we have already covered in our previous session, so I'm just reusing these things. So these are the things we need for our as a configuration or initialization of our test case. And then we have to create one method for our actual test case. So we have created def test underscore add underscore new customer. This is the actual test case which we have created. In this we are calling this setup fixture. If you see, we have already created this setup fixture here, which will initialize the browser, which will initialize the setup basically. It will initialize the browser and it will launch the Chrome browser. So we are just reusing it. and then I have added the log file here, log test case, log statement here. Then I have added the log statement. Here we are calling the setup fixture. It will launch the browser. We are using implicit wait of 20 seconds in case some page load might take time. And then we are reusing some of the stuff. For example, we are just calling this self.driver.get self.admin page URL. It will launch the admin page URL. Then we have created the login admin page object, because that we have already created. Login admin page we have already created. So login thing we have already reused from that base pages. We have to just import those specific pages. After importing, I am just creating the login page object. Here we are creating the login page object. Then we are calling the login page method. For example, entering the username. It will pass the username. Then we are calling enter password method. And then we are clicking on login and we are maximizing the window. So up to this point, it will complete the login. So up to this point, it will complete the login. So this stuff will complete our login of admin username and password. So this we have already used in our previous session as well. If you see, this is the same code. So this will use login base page and it will call login base page method, and we are going to log in into our portal as admin. So it will complete the login. After that, what is the next step? We have to click on, so after login, what we have to do? We have to click on these customers. We have already created the base page and method for this customer click, right? So next step is we have to create the object of which base page? Add customer page, right? So this is the base page we have created. If you see, add customer page, this is the base page which we have created. So we have to first import it. If you see, from base pages dot add customer page, we have to import add customer page class. So once you import add customer page class, we can create the object self dot add customer. This is the object of add customer page class. And now by using this add customer page object, we can call all the methods which we have created. So if I want to click on customers, I am just using dot click customers method. If I want to, after clicking on customers, I want to click on customers from menu option. So I am just calling that method. It will call this method, which is adding customer from menu options, and it will click on that specific element. What is the next step? We have to click on add new. If you remember, we have add new button. So it will call this add new method here. It will click on that add new button. After clicking on add new customer, we will land on this page. Now one by one, we have to use enter email method, enter password, enter first name, enter last name. So again, I am just logging some statement. So now providing customer info will start. Here, if you see, for email, as I already said, we have to generate some random email ID. So every time we will execute this test case, new email ID should be used as input. So I am using one generate random email method which we have created. I am just pressing it. So I have created this method at the end. If you see, this is the method. What this function will do? We are using username and domain. Username is basically, we are using some random dot choices. So in Python we have random module which we have to import, and importing the string which we need for various string action. So this function is basically returning a random email ID which will be created like this. For example, it will use lowercase character and some digits. It will use lowercase and string dot digits will combine some digits as well. K equals to 8 means we will create 8 characters username. So this method will generate one username which will be of 8 characters, and it is created by some random string, random lowercase value of characters, and some random digits as well. it will create random digits plus random lowercase of string characters of 8 characters total. It will store it in username. So this part will create one username which is of 8 characters and combination of string and digit. And then we are creating domain as well. So it will create one random domain from these values. And at the end, it will return combination of this username and domain. Username at the rate this domain name. And eventually it will return one random email ID. So every time we are executing the test case, we are calling this function, and this function is returning one random email ID which is generated by combining username and domain. Username will be again 8 character random, digit and string combination, and domain is again any random value from these domain names. And it will returning that specific username at the rate domain email ID. So this is a simple function which will return whenever it is called, it will return some random email ID. That value we have used in our test cases. So if you see, it will call this generate random email function. It will store that randomly generated email in this email field. This email we are passing in this method. So when you are calling enter email method, in this we are passing that randomly generated email. That randomly generated email we are passing in this. It will be passed in our this method for entering the email. It will accept that as a parameter, and it will pass that value in our using send keys. We are passing that value in our email field. So similar approach will be used for password, first name, last name as well. So next steps are entering the email. After entering the email, we are entering the password. I am just hard coding that value here. Then we are calling entering the first name for Jack, or let's say I am giving it as Jenny. For last name it will pass Shaw. It will, after that we are calling select gender, and in select gender method we are giving the value as male. So we are passing the value here as male. So in this method, if you see select gender in base page, we are taking the value, so it will be male. So if value is male, it will locate that male radio button and it will click on that male radio button. So that will select the male. If you pass female, then it will select the female button. If you pass incorrect value, it will eventually select by default female ID again. So we are passing the male. Same we are passing entering the date of birth method. In this enter DOB method, we are passing this value. Then we are passing the company name by calling enter company name method. Then we are simply selecting or checking that tax exempt checkbox. If you see, we are simply going to select this tax exempt checkbox. After that, we have to select newsletter. For newsletter, we are passing this value, that is test store 2. Then if you go to this select newsletter method, it is accepting that value. If you see select newsletter, your test store 2 is accepting as value. So it will check. So first it will click on elements, click on that input field. So it will click on this newsletter, and after that you will check for the condition. So if it is value test store 2, it is going to select that test store 2 and it will click on that. So it will select test store 2. After that, let's move on. What is the next step? After test store 2 is selected, we are going to select customer role. So I am just calling this select customer role method, in which we are passing guests as a value. If you pass guest, we have already seen, it will first deselect the registered one, then again it will click on it, it will select the guest. Then we are selecting vendor one from drop down. Then we are adding some comment in our comment field, and then we are simply clicking on the save button. So this is we'll call the click save button. And after saving it, what will happen is, if I show you, let me pass some random values. So after saving it, let's say I'm just passing this value from the test case. First name, last name, gender selection, date of birth, company name, then checking this checkbox, passing some comment, and clicking on save. So what is the final validation which we are adding? So after clicking on this save, if you see, After clicking on save, it will throw you one success message. The new customer has been added successfully. So if this success message is coming, that means we have successfully added that user. So I'm just capturing this success message. If you see in the code, now we have to add some final validation. So this is the expected success message. What I'm doing is in this success text, so I'm just locating this element. I'm just locating this element. So if you see in this code, if you use this XPath, I'm just identifying that specific text, Control F, Control V. So it will eventually, if you see this XPath, class equals to content wrapper, and inside that div, first div should give, and from the first div, if I extract the text, so it is highlighting that specific text. So I'm just extracting that text and I'm just comparing with our expected text. I'm just adding the condition here. If customer adds success text, which is the expected one, is present in this success text, this is we are capturing from the page. So this value will capture that text and we are comparing both the values. If both the values are matching, that means test case is pass. That means test case is pass. Else, if that is not matching, that means if that value is not present in the success text, then that means that test case is wrong. Something is incorrect. Then we are failing that test case. If you see, we are asserting and we are saving the screenshot as well. So this is how we can write and complete our test case. So these are all the different methods, page methods, which we are calling step by step. So this is how our test case will look. Now we can execute the test case now. So I'm just going to execute this test case and we will see whether it creates the new user and test is getting passed or not. So now let's execute the test case. So how to execute the test case? Let me clear the previous logs. For executing the test case, we have already know the command. pytest -s -v -html and the path of the reports. Inside the reports folder we have, if you see, reports file path and then dot which test case we want to execute. We want to specifically execute this new user addition test case. So this is the path of that test case. So this is the command pytest -s -v -html, path of the report file and path of the test case. And if I press the enter now, it will start the execution of test case. So let's press enter. Now it will start the test execution. Okay, so file name is different, right? So we have to give the correct file name. So let me show you. So what is the file name? Test underscore add underscore new user dot py. So I'm just changing this file name. Test underscore add new user dot py. So now let's execute this command. So it should launch our browser and it should start the test case. So now it is launching the browser. It should launch the browser first. It is now launching the browser. After browser is launched, it will first use login. It is logging in now. It will maximize the window. Now we have reached, it will click on the customers. It will click on customers option from the left panel. Then it will click on customer sub option. Then it will click on add new and it is passing all the values. If you see, it is passing all the values. It will select the newsletter as well. It will select the newsletter as well. It should select the newsletter. It should select the newsletter. I think something went wrong. Let's re-execute test one more time. So let's re-execute. There might be some network disconnection issue. So I'm just launching this test case one more time. So it is launching the web browser. It is performing the login process. Then it will maximize the window. It will click on the customer sub option as well. It will click on add new button. And now it will start entering the value one by one. If you see, it should select newsletter and customer roles as well. It is selecting the newsletter. Test store 2, then it is selecting the value. We have passed guest value. If you see, it is first removing the registered value and then it is selecting the guest value. And it has already clicked on save button after putting all the values. And if you see, success message is also displayed. So that means if you see, test case is successfully passed. If you see, the test case is successfully passed. Now what I will do, I will just re-execute one more time. This time I will pass some another value. So let's say I am passing here, instead of guests, what I will do, I will pass value as registered. And let's execute this file one more time. So let's go to terminal. Let's execute this command. It should launch the browser one more time. This time it will select registered one. So for registered one, if you remember, we don't do anything because registered is already selected. So it should launch the web browser. It will perform the login. It will select on customers, then customer sub option as well. Then it will click on add new. And then it will start populating the value one by one. If you see, random email ID is given, company name, then it will select the newsletter as well. Test store 2 will be selected because that's value we have passed in our test case. Then it is selecting the registered one. Not do anything because it is by default selected. And after that is passing comment, and then it will click on save button. Again, success message has displayed. That means user is successfully added. Test case is passed. And then it will exit the driver. And it will launch. So it will say that one test case is passed. So this is the entire test case which we have created for addition of new user. So it is the entire test case for addition of new user. So we have created one base page, then we have created test case, we have created object for this base page, and by using that object we have called all the methods from the base page one by one, and we have performed and we have completed addition of new user test case. Thank you for watching this video. In the coming session we will add one more new test case in the same application. Thank you again.